Terence Bud Crawford, I'ma just say this. Terence Crawford exposed himself when he was discussing the negotiations between him and Errol Spence leading up to the Errol Spence fight. Now, I'm just going strictly based off his words and what he stated in the interview that he did, I believe either with Andre Ward or whoever else he was talking to. I can't remember. And I'm gonna just paraphrase. I'm not saying his exact quotes verbatim, but I'm gonna just paraphrase. But he said something along the lines of, you know, if fighters are really the boss, then I'm gonna test you, or I'm gonna see if you, let's see if you really the boss. Nigga, you just literally got from under Top Rank and Bob Arum screwing you. You're literally still dealing with legality issues when it comes to Bob Arum. And you wanting to sue Bob Arum. Everybody who leaves Top Rank end up suing Bob Arum and Top Rank. So you're not about to have been in a contract with Top Rank for years and years. Probably since the beginning of your career. You've been under Top Rank, under the Top Rank umbrella, and then about to come out here and try to kick knowledge. Like you so educated on business. Especially when you stepping in the room with business-minded people. Terence Crawford puts on this facade. And a lot of times, people see people with a mask on, and they think that's who they are. They do a great job at acting when they get in front of those cameras. And anybody would tell you, anybody who thinks that they're the smartest person in the room is generally the dumbest person in the room. If you're stepping in a room, if you're stepping in the room sitting at the negotiation tables and think that you about to outsmart people who went to school for this stuff, people who have years and years of experience and educated on business, you think you about to outsmart these people? Hell yeah, Errol Spence is right for having Al Haymon and business-minded people around him. There's nothing wrong with having the proper representation. Nothing at all. There's nothing wrong with having someone speaking on your behalf that knows the business a lot better than you, that can talk numbers, that could put you in position to win not only just a big payout. See, that's what Terence Crawford want. Upfront money, a big payday, because that's what he's accustomed to. That's what Bob Arum has been spoon-feeding him since he was under Bob Arum. And now he thinks he's just smarter than everybody, when there are other ways you can eat with this pie. Al Haymon is presenting a pie to where the pie is big enough for Terence Crawford and Errol Spence to eat, but then there'll be enough left over for them to eat later. But Terence Crawford, he like, man, just give me majority of the pie and y'all can keep the rest. And then when the pie all gone and he's still hungry, now he's left out in the cold trying to find other pies. And then when there's no more pie left, because that's all he's doing, trying to take the whole pie, and then eventually ain't gonna be no more pie left. Ain't nobody gonna be giving out no more pies. Even if, let's say, PBC fails, they cut the cord, they pull a plug on PBC. PBC goes bankrupt. Nigga, that's majority of businesses. You could be doing Uber, driving Uber, and the next day Uber could go out of business. Cash App could go out of business. But that's another conversation for another day. You got a bunch of these emotional dudes out here, bruh, who, if they don't like someone or somebody's business practice, they're going to try to just poop on everything that they doing, on their entire business model, their whole, business name, so on and so forth, right? But when it comes to Terence Crawford, he does a great job of putting on this facade. It's okay to have the right people around you. And obviously Terence Crawford doesn't. I guarantee you that Errol Spence doesn't have to fight no more. I guarantee you. Because I'm almost certain just studying or just analyzing the way that Al Haymon handled Floyd Mayweather career and how Al Haymon has the best interest for his fighters, I guarantee you they good. I guarantee Floyd Mayweather always speaks about being able to own his masters, meaning that every time his fight get played, he probably get a bag for it. Owning the masters to your boxing matches, which a lot of people don't have the power of that. So you can't tell me that Floyd Mayweather, who stated out his own mouth, man, if I would have had Al Haymon beside me throughout my entire career, I would have been a billionaire. I would have been getting to the bag. So Terence Crawford, you out of your own mouth admitted that Al Haymon was right. You said it. His business model, his business approach, you said out your own mouth, Al Haymon was right. So if Al Haymon was right, and you're saying, hey, well, we got to see if fighter's really the boss. Maybe Errol Spence really is a boss, but he got somebody in here who his manager, who's encouraging him and teaching him the right way to do business. To where he's not just getting money on the front end, he's also getting money on the back end and other places. Royalties, licensing. There's so many other ways to get money outside of boxing. Forget endorsements. But Terence Crawford wants to be so real. He wants to be this real nigga. But I was so appreciative and thankful when I looked in the comments and how everybody commended and gave Errol Spence his just due. They gave Errol Spence his prop. They gave Errol Spence his respect. Everybody was talking about how real. You had more people in the comments. I'm speaking of the interview that Terence Crawford did when he was speaking on the negotiations with him and Errol Spence. You had more people in the comments talk about how real and how genuine Errol Spence is and how much of a stand-up dude he is, more than they was talking about Terence Crawford. Because a lot of them can see through the fraud. Because the truth of the matter is, nigga, nobody will be talking about you or be checking for you had you not fought Errol Spence. There would be no so-called, and I say with air quotes, no Terence Bud Crawford era without going through Errol Spence. Nobody gives a F about Terence Crawford, bruh. You're having trouble. You barely selling tickets for this Madrimal fight. And eventually, the Turks and all these people who, all these Muslims and all these people supposedly willing to give the bag up to put on these main event fights, eventually they gonna be like, bro, we ain't generating no money from this because ain't nobody buying it. Everybody is illegally streaming it. You can put the money up, but how you gonna get your money back? That's how Black Prime went broke. So make it make sense, bro. You needed Spence. You needed him. Spence ain't need you because guess what? Spence had other options. And if you would have listened to Al Haymon, you probably would have made 10 times more money. If you would have went into the rematch with Errol Spence, or not even Errol Spence, you could have fought Keith Thurman. You could have fought Danny Garcia. These people have bigger, way bigger names than you do, even in losing. Nobody knows you, bruh. The only people that know you is your fan base. He gonna say, I didn't want to hear about Mikey Garcia, and I didn't want to hear about the Dallas Cowboys stadium following. Nigga, you should want to hear about that. The fact that you didn't want to hear that means that you're closed-minded. Meaning that you're not open-minded and you're not willing to grow as a businessman. You talking about you didn't want to hear that. It's the truth. So, let's say Errol Spence wasn't a man of his word, and Errol Spence decided to walk away from the negotiations, which is what he should have did. You owe your career to Errol Spence. At this point, he's a fraud, bruh. It goes to show you that he don't want to listen. He exposed his character in that interview. He exposed it. What do you mean? The Mikey Garcia fight did big numbers. It's common sense, really. If the Mikey Garcia fight did big numbers, it brought in Errol Spence to a bigger audience. Him fighting Sean Porter at Staples Center, selling out the crowds. Him fighting Ugas in Dallas Cowboys Stadium. These people are bigger than you. Errol Spence is a much bigger star than you. So he has every right to demand more.